finally they're like, you know what?
We should take a break.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast, with your hosts, Connor O'Neill and Matthew Hughes.
What is up, everybody, and happy Wednesday if you're listening to this on a Wednesday. If not, happy day.
Happy day that ends in Y. It's your boys, Matt and Connor here back again.
Connor. Nerdy Misfit episode.
Episode 129.
Yep,
I think that's correct.
Yeah, and we got a good one. I think
Mix of a little bit of things today.
Yeah, I think we should start with saying we're going to jump into a One Piece discussion discussing the 6 months hiatus. That's going to be, I guess, the main bulge of this podcast. Later on, we're going to have a big announcement that we hope you guys will check out. We're going to leave little bookmarks so you guys can actually jump if you're more interested in seeing what that announcement is, or if you want to jump into the One Piece content or the end of the episode, whatever part of the episode you like.
We'll see. But yeah, without further ado, how's it going today, Connor?
It's good. It's what day is it?
Thursday.
Okay, it's a Thursday.
We're actually finally getting ahead, but on time.
Okay,
with
so
our
it's
stuff
Thursday.
now.
Obviously Halloween's coming up. If you're not already, join us. Anime of the month. We're coming. We're gonna be recording the episode soon. So if you want to join us and give your 2 cents about the anime of the month, you should do so now because, well,
It's 1 week away.
Yeah, as
from
of
this release of this episode.
When this episode comes out, we would have probably have days, so you would have to really crank it out. But thankfully, it is a shorter. It's only 12 episodes, and that's Mononoke. So far, I've watched a good chunk of it. I think only a quarter of it, so like 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Or third of it. I math. 3 would be.
Have you watched 2 or 3 of the anthology stories?
I've watched 2 of these stories. It is definitely different. So in a good way, I would say. Definitely a unique anime so far. Really enjoying. I'm enjoying that it's broken up into little stories as opposed to big ones, but it kind of makes sense for the main character you're following. Yeah. Anyways, we won't go too deep into that. I just want to remind everyone that you should definitely join us. Anime of the month happens every month. We pick an anime. We talk about it at the end of the month. So, time's running out if you want to join in on Mononoke's watch.
And speaking of anime, release that we just talked about briefly, One Piece anime going on a 6-month hiatus.
Yeah, so this
is big.
This is shocking, honestly. I feel like we actually have talked about this before with Gray on in our very early podcast episode, only the audio only. So if you're an OG audio listener, you would probably have heard something similar. But Gray, this is actually one of Gray's biggest wishes, if you will. That Toei would just take a break and actually just do a better job. Because since they're essentially caught up, they're caught up. So just give time and just, and the best part about this hiatus is that they're actually going back and fixing some of the other arcs,
which I find is very interesting. Yeah. So with One Piece going on a 6-month break, they're going to be redoing Fishman Island, jumping from 58 episodes, making it into 21 episodes.
Correct. Yes.
Which is just crazy to think about. Because
isn't that kind of embarrassing to that you're gonna be it's almost embarrassing. Okay, we're One Piece fans.
Yeah.
But the diehard One Piece fans don't think there's anything wrong with One Piece.
It's true.
But there is.
One Piece.
And I don't think One Piece is good because One Piece does take out a lot of the OST, and I think the One Piece OST is pretty good. It's just. You're really ruining really long, weird pauses in the anime, lots of recaps, lots of backflashes that just don't need to be there. It really does ruin the overall flow of the show. The best way to be introduced and to get through One Piece and actually, in my opinion, enjoy it the most is the manga. I think Matt can
definitely
agree to that. But it is nice to see that they're going to go back. I think there's actually starting this month, the 27th of October, is when they're going to start airing those remastered, the re-edited Fishman episodes. But it is crazy. That's more than half of it.
That's what I'm a little worried about. I feel like
Fishman Island's not that big.
That's what I mean. 56 episodes sounds like a lot to the common person, but when you think of the anime that's over 1,100 episodes, and you're able to take out 25, 26 of that, it makes you question things a little bit.
Yeah, it makes you think that they probably should have done something like this a lot sooner.
Yep.
Or just started switching to maybe 2 seasons. And we'll get deeper into this discussion, but maybe switching to a 12-episode format, maybe doing 2 of those every year.
I think, honestly, their best bet would have just been like, hey, we got to Wano. We finished Wano. Just take that 6-month break there.
Yeah.
I think that would have been like the manga did. Like, Oda took a good, 2-month break after 3 months.
No, I don't think he took that. It was after, I think he had a surgery.
Yeah, but he took time off, basically.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't because of...
No, I know that, but I'm saying, I think the anime should have just, the end of Wano would have been a good place to just
I thought that Wano was also just... I was looking forward to the most, especially the change in art style and animation style. I thought both were a step in the right direction for the anime as a whole. I thought it kind of fit a lot more, and it fit the action scenes a lot better.
Yeah.
I do think there was too many particle effects used, which wasn't pretty common complaint, and Toei they actually did start removing a lot of them throughout the arc, which was cool to see them adapting to what people were thinking of it, because it started turning a little bit too Dragon Ball and One Piece is not Dragon Ball. That's, if you want that, just go watch Dragon Ball. There's plenty of episodes of that as well.
It's true.
But yeah, so obviously Matt mentioned that the re-edited Fishman Island, that's going to start on the 27th. They're also going to be remastering visuals from Wano, condensing episodes, and it's going to be redubbed in Dolby. So there's a lot of things going on. We'll see if this becomes more of a common occurrence for the series, if they're going to start doing that for a lot of the show overall. It's hard to say. Maybe they're going to play it by ear and be like, how do people like it? Was it worth the effort, etc.? My biggest question is, and obviously we're not really going to get the answer to that, I wonder if they felt any pressure from the remake of the One Piece that's going to be done by Wit Studio. And we all know that basically Wit Studio has almost a cheat code in the sense of, hey, let's just not do the things people didn't like from Toei. And you kind of have a blueprint that way where you're just like, okay, well, let's do a good job. Let's be, truthful to and try and create something as close to Oda's artwork as possible.
Yep. And
just make sure the pacing is good, which if they do only do 12 to 24 episode seasons, it'll take a while for them to catch up still. But it will be very interesting to see how much fewer episodes the remake ends up being than current One Piece.
I mean, the fact that they're remaking Fishman from 58 to 21.
Yeah, it would give you an idea.
To show you.
And yeah, there is obviously One Piece, which I think there is a decent amount of the One Piece community that are watching that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the diehards are watching One Piece. I mean, and total respect to the people that are choosing to watch One Piece, especially pretty much, I want to say almost, post time skip is when it's already the pacing starts to get, and it just gets progressively worse, obviously. But
which is where Fishman Island is.
Yeah, respect to anyone that is watching that. One Piece, I think a lot of people watch it because they're not caught up.
Yeah. And
maybe a lot of people recommend it as an easier way to catch up. And that could be true. I do think obviously you are going to be missing out on some of the purposefully put dramatic pauses, like we said, the OST, and there is some jank kind of cutoffs in that.
Yeah.
We have both watched the actual anime, so we're sufferers, if you will. I haven't actually watched the full Wano arc, so I basically just watch what I've read that I'm looking forward to
see if it was animated
and
well
sometimes,
enough.
Honestly, I'm pretty disappointed in the fact that I can't just go to an episode and watch what I wanted to in an episode. It ends up being 4
or 5 episodes,
which is an extreme letdown.
Feels Dragon Ball-y.
Not even, honestly, Dragon Ball. There is obviously filler screaming, but people meme on the screen, but that only really happens for one de facto moment.
Gotcha.
But I'm just honestly very surprised. This is a anime that's been going on for 20 plus years of One Piece, and finally they're like, you know what?
We should take a break.
25 years breakdown.
Yeah.
Well, obviously they're not going on break. They're working hard, but they're letting it stop, and that's the right answer. I guess that's what we'll dive into is this the right call? Don't add filler.
Yep.
And stop doing one chapter per episode.
Yeah, this also lets your source material grow.
Yeah, build up the source material for
You know,
sure.
like what would have happened if Full Metal Alchemist decided to take a break for a little bit?
Well, we'd get Full Metal Alchemist.
That's what I mean. You'd get the...
There was no ending, and they anime original ending. Not that that ending was actually bad, but...
No, I still need to watch that to compare, but...
But, yeah, it just goes to show you. I mean, we're caught up. The options are take a break or create filler or do what they've done.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, one thing that One Piece fans try to always hold over the Naruto and Bleach is we have so much fewer filler. And it's like, technically that is true. The filler is definitely there is definitely much less of it. But there also is filler and it's ingrained.
Yeah.
You can't just, in Naruto, in my opinion, I don't know how you feel about this, Matt. I would rather be able to be like, oh, I'm skipping 60 episodes. But it's those 60 episodes, those are all filler. You don't even have to worry about them.
Yeah.
Then be like, ooh, I've got like lots of flashbacks that are unnecessary in this episode. Oh, we've only gotten like 1.5 chapters worth of content.
Well, I'm just like looking at the One Piece filler list, and it's like episode 988, 989, mixed canon / filler.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? Just make it canon or filler? Like, there's one-off episodes, and I'm like...
Well, yeah, that happens on all series of... Think about, same with My Hero, there's some non-canon / mixed filler where they're trying to, like, promote a movie or...
Yeah.
But the main thing is filler episodes. You look at Naruto, and there's arcs. There's literally filler arcs that you can be like, oh, I'm skipping these next 10 episodes. And although that feels bad, especially if you're a weekly watcher, there's no doubt that was a horrifyingly...
Time.
It's just not great. Not a great viewing
Yeah.
experience. But for newer watchers or people that maybe rewatch it, so much better to be like, hey, I'm skipping these next 15 episodes. Hey, I'm skipping these 10 episodes. I'm skipping these 5 episodes. Because they're literally irrelevant and being able to get right into what is the source material. And
Yeah.
it feels at a good pace. As opposed to all episodes being technically source material, but just told very slowly.
Just dragged out.
So I think it was the right call to take a break. It's about time. Probably should have happened a while ago. Big ups to Toei for doing that. I'm feeling like they're feeling some pressure from what Wit's going to put out, and that's good. Now we have competition between One Piece animes, which is a crazy thing.
Thing I never thought I'd see.
Yeah, no, I definitely never thought we'd see it. So it's definitely...
Also, live-action One Piece show on top of all that. There's a lot of One Piece content.
Definitely, yeah, a lot of One Piece content. With that said, though, I guess a quickie little debate we can have here is some other series that maybe could have benefited from such things.
I mean, to me, like, not necessarily take a month break, but we talked about this on a previous episode of, like, JJK Season 2 just taking a week off. Like,
yeah, okay, so you're talking about, in general, if the product isn't ready.
Exactly. I think, like, there's two different debates here. Obviously, like, when you take a break from a long-running show versus, like, just a week-to-week basis, I think, like...
And in general, nowadays, we aren't seeing the week, every week a episode type of show. That's not...
It's not as common.
That's not really a thing. It's basically One Piece, and Black Clover did it for a bit.
And technically Pokemon, I guess. But that's not, like, in comparison to One Piece or anything. But, yeah, I think JJK is one that could have easily benefited. But that's for different reasons, obviously.
Yeah, I would say the other thing about JJK is they do clean it up and I do think they did a good cleanup job on the Blu-ray release. Which,
but like,
take it as you will. That's like positive if you're someone who likes the series enough to buy that Blu-ray. Obviously, it's nice to know that it got cleaned up.
But that's a negative for the viewers that just want the good thing.
Yeah,
right from
I
the
think
get-go.
it just comes down to all the scheduling. Like, being like, oh, how much do we have to push this back? Okay, we push it back 2-3 weeks, so this is properly animated. Now they're 3 weeks behind. Does that cause? Because I don't know how the Japanese like whole broadcast.
It's no Zom 100 situation.
Well, I just don't know how the broadcast, like the money in that costs. I'm not too knowledgeable of that when it comes to moving things.
What would fill that slot, etc.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of moving pieces, but for sure, I think we all know that at this point, MAPPA is no slouch in the money department for a studio. They're definitely a mega studio.
Yeah.
I think they could have pushed it back.
At least a week.
The other thing is, like, for One Piece, it's something we've gotten so many bonus stories, if you will. We've gotten all the different cover stories. There's options that Toei could do outside of filler. Like, it would be filler, but it's technically
the expanded canon.
Yeah, exactly. You could tell those stories, animate those stories well.
Yeah.
That'll buy you time as well. And it's a cool little thing. You can have it as actual canon, and it just, people who are reading and watching One Piece at this point, they're all fans. They're in for the long haul. Just give them that extended lore that they want.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Oda's got tons of written stuff, things that he's answered from all the questionnaires, things that he's done. So I'm sure you can do lots of mini stories that are technically expanded canon that people would be interested in seeing. But
then do you think that would put more pressure on Oda?
No, because he just does it anyways. He does all the cover stories on his own whim. That's his own thing that he's done.
No, I know. But, like, to get that extra information to animate it and, like, carry out those stories. I know he's not directly connected to
But that's
the
what I mean.
animation,
Like, if we're just basing it off of things that he's answered,
Mm.
it only has to be run by him. He doesn't have to write anything. It's content he's already released, theoretically. Right? But, yeah. Going into current age, we definitely don't see... Since we don't see the weekly, we don't see as many issues. Like, even look at the Bleach 1,000-year Blood War arc. We're taking it a season at a time.
Yeah.
And it's, of the big three, it's the best looking and best produced show. It's looks great. Everything feels great. That goes, obviously, if you're not a Bleach fan, maybe you don't like it. But at the end of the day, it's very well done. And no filler. And it just feels like we're in the right age for anime where... One, there's lots of competition, so you actually have to stand out and do a good, for the most part, got to do a job. I do feel like we do get the oddball of a popular series like Blue Lock this season, which are just slideshows, and people are just taking advantage of the popularity. They know people are going to watch it because it's big. But it is nice to see something like Bleach, which has a very passionate fan base.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people give it a lot of crap when it comes to the big three as like the worst or the bottom, which there's positives and negatives to all three.
I 100% agree.
Like, there's things that I love about each one of them, and there's things that I can definitely nitpick from all of them for sure.
Yeah.
But one thing you can't say about Bleach and Naruto is that the stories were told clean throughout. Tons of filler in both those series, both done by Studio Pierrot as well.
Yep.
And I think the filler route is overall not the way to do it either. So it's nice to see, just in general, shows are seasonal based, and they fit. You know.
Yeah.
I
agree.
They just make everything work. Maybe you get a JJK level where they didn't have the time to finish, or Zom 100. But at least Zom 100, they kept pushing. Like, hey, we're gonna release this whole season. It's just
we're taking our time with it.
We're having issues, and we realize that, and we don't want to put out a bad product.
And Zom 100 is actually, like, it's well
decent,
done.
Yeah, it's very solid. So definitely excited to see what it looks like. I think I'm 100% tuning in October 27th, and I will check out the Fishman Island arc to see how things both look visually, but also just the overall
flow
pacing.
of story.
Yeah, exactly. And excited to see if they end up doing it completely for Wano, because if they do, I'm jumping in. Because I love the Wano arc.
Yeah.
From the manga. It might be... I'd have to really, like, not reread, but just go over all the arcs and things that happen in the arcs to really decide. Because obviously Wano is a lot more recency bias.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Wano was an incredibly fun arc.
Reading it was great.
It was fantastic. So I would love to see the pacing completely, like, done properly for that arc so I can watch it and enjoy it. Because I've tried to watch it and I'm not enjoying it. I have to literally just skip to parts that I'm like... And that takes away from it. Yeah. The viewing experience overall.
Agreed.
But yeah. Let us know what you guys thought. Are you excited? Are you gonna catch up? I think that a lot of people are also looking at this as it's a big opportunity to catch up in One Piece. 6 months to catch up. Can you take on the challenge? Let us know. Let us know if you're gonna take on that challenge and watch One Piece. I do recommend reading it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I got to the time skip and I just read since.
I would just take the time to read it.
Maybe this is my opportunity to watch past the time skip now.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a great series to check out. If you prefer watching, go for it. you got time now before new episodes come out. Also, 6 months is a very reasonable time to start reading it.
Exactly.
And the big thing is, I think, before we close out on the One Piece, is take it an arc at a time. If you're someone who's interested in the series, take it an arc at a time. You don't have to binge all of One Piece. You don't have to binge read all of One Piece. You can read an arc or two and then go enjoy something else. Then come back, read an arc or two, etc. Repeat, you know? Don't get burnt out, because I think that's what some people do with One Piece. Yeah. They get burnt out and then they're like, I'm done. I'm done with this show. I'm done with this manga. But if you take it slow,
one arc at a time, one volume at a time.
One volume at a time. Get through. It'll be a much more enjoyable experience, and you'll still get to enjoy other stuff you like.
Exactly.
Now we're going to take a quick break and bring on a special guest for an exciting announcement.
Whoop, whoop. And boom, here we are back with our special guest. Listeners, watchers, etc.
Hello. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Eddie, or Ebats. I like to think I'm a streamer, YouTuber, gamer, anime lover, fellow nerd.
Fellow nerd.
Wow.
Yeah, fellow nerd.
How you doing today, Eddie?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Not bad. We're a little tired, but we're trucking along, you know?
Persevere.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Just gotta keep on keeping on.
That's what the kids say.
Yeah, so for those of you who have not, or are new, and have not listened to earlier episodes, the audio only of our first 100 episodes.
100 episodes, yeah.
Ebats, or Eddie, has actually been on the podcast
90
before.
episodes to go.
90, back in my day.
Exactly.
Back in the audio only days, Ebats made an appearance.
So
I did.
This is technically his video debut for this podcast.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Wow, how amazing. Wow, I made it. I'm in the big leagues.
Yes,
and he has actually helped us with a few shorts as well on the Nerdy Misfit channel. And we are super excited to have Eddie take on basically, I guess, if you would want to give a title, the head creator role of our new channel, which is Nerdy Misfit Gaming. So that's the big announcement. Yes. Nerdy Misfits Gaming is live.
Woo!
It is alive.
It's alive.
Yeah, so we're super happy to have Eddie come on to handle that channel. Eddie's super creative. It's a good way to get his creative outlet, you know, and he can be part of the community. He's already been part of it. If you listen to the podcast before, you know that he's often brought up for a lot of the question corners as well.
Yep.
So
mentioned
he's
here
there.
And there.
He's part of the Power Rangers RPG format. So I'm sure he'll have lots of stories from his point of view. I'm sure
that's true. Yeah,
in his videos for the channel.
Tons.
Which is good because we've only gotten
really mine. Yeah.
So that'll be great. But do you want to let everyone know kind of the content they can expect on the channel? Maybe if you have any set dates for potential streams and whatnot.
Yeah. So I'm thinking a lot of I like doing challenge videos. I like to do whatever. If there's a game that I find fun, how can I make it harder and make me hate it? So like Pokemon, just making it as hard as possible. Extreme Nuzlocke, no Pokemon centers, and then I did an Elden Ring challenge where I ate spicy food every time that I perished. I've never played a Souls game before, so I just jumped right into Elden Ring and was like, you know what? I haven't watched playthrough of it, so I have no idea what I'm doing. I think in the video I thought who I thought was a boss, turned out it was the tutorial boss, and I died 6 times. And then there was a sub-boss that I died 13 times, I think. So,
a lot of deaths.
You know.
Awkward. It's not an easy game. Definitely not an easy game.
Oh, no.
So that can be some exciting stuff. I've definitely also really enjoyed some of your Nuzlocke as well. Just I like how you find like the most random versions of the games. The
fusion ones
are definitely extremely funny.
So they're so much fun.
Definitely looking forward to that level of content. I'm sure maybe torture yourself with some speed runs of games that you have no business speed running.
Yeah, I've got a list. Mario 64 is up there. I want to learn how to do all like the clips and stuff through Mario 64.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. It's up there. But
Connor and I will be joining you occasionally from time to time.
Yeah, that'll be the hope. And Matt is not as full-fledged gamer, I would say.
No, gosh, no. So you will expect videos or audio of me failing at League of Legends. That is something that Connor's been pushing
That's
for.
what both Connor and Eddie want.
Yes, they both want me to just
fail. It's gonna be kind of nice to not be the designated bottom frag. That's gonna be nice because that's my role.
Yeah,
whenever I play any kind of game.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely find as time goes on and Eddie gets more comfortable with his how he wants to handle things on the channel. I'm sure we'll figure out potential upload schedule for maybe party games with the Nerdy Misfits or something. I'm sure we'll end up doing lots of different party games. Not some games where Matt gets the loser stars that help him win. If you've ever played Mario Party, sometimes the person who does the best doesn't actually ever win. That game's cursed that way. So, but we'll definitely be playing some games that both make Matt look good, make Matt look bad.
Why do I gotta be the target of this?
It was just
Yeah, I was also thinking for like a stream schedule, streaming right after the same day podcast is uploaded. So maybe you guys can just pop in a Discord call or something while I play, talk to the community, talk about what they thought about the podcast.
Absolutely, I'm sure. And we could potentially, if the stream gets big enough, maybe Eddie can just watch the podcast with the viewers.
Yeah, that's true.
React
live reaction,
react with.
Yeah, second place for the community to go to kind of discuss things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Eddie is in the Discord as well. We haven't put one in there yet, but I'm sure by the time this episode starts picking up, we'll have a spot on the channel opened on the Discord for the gaming aspect of things for sure.
Yeah.
But super excited. And if you want to, you can go subscribe now. We'll definitely obviously be putting the link down in the comments below. And there's already videos there if you want to kind of get a vibe for what Eddie brings. I think, honestly, it's kind of a very chaotic, fun vibe.
That's what I strive for.
I think that's the easiest way.
Yeah, I think that kind of is a good way of looking at your content. It's fun.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're just like, I don't even know what the heck I'm watching.
Oh, yeah. the ADHD filter that I turn on most of the time, I just turn that off and just whatever.
Just let it go.
Just let it go.
Watch ducks.
Yeah, just let it go. Yeah. Honestly, so much fun. I'm debating streaming that soon. The duck game is so fun.
The duck game, yeah. Goat Sim. TCG Sim popping off right now.
Yep. I think that might be the first stream. I got the game downloaded, so we're going to be opening a Nerdy Misfit card shop.
Matt would be the first one in there. Matt loves his
I'm hoping,
TCGs.
I do.
Yeah, we're going to have... hopefully I don't make it go bankrupt. I've seen a lot of videos where people show just ripping packs and they go bankrupt, so hopefully I can bring our card shop up there.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I was reading some fun
things about it. But if Tristan Mingle...
I was reading some fun things about the TCG, that they're actually working on an actual card game people will be able to play in the game.
Oh, really?
Really?
So that'll be interesting if they end up getting to that point. Hopefully they do, because the game's very popular right now.
Yeah, it was an app before all this blew up, and I used to play the app. I'd wake up, set a timer for 2 a.m., just rip packs. Hopefully I got experience, because I used to play that app so much.
That's great. I think it'll make for a great stream, and very fitting. That's the other thing, right? We had a discussion with Eddie, we wanted him to do his own thing, but also he does want to kind of keep it in the bubble of the Nerdy Misfits. So I expect a lot of within the realm of what you would expect from the Nerdy Misfits. So obviously another recent game is the new Dragon Ball game that came out.
Yep.
Maybe some future. I know I haven't actually personally played any, but I know that there's a couple One Piece games that are decent.
Yeah.
Not exactly.
I've heard there's some good ones. I see a lot of ads on my TikTok for this really cool open world One Piece game. I don't know if it's real or not, but it looks so much fun. So that hopefully.
Maybe we'll have a lot of connections that way. And like Eddie said, I'm sure we'll have some awesome discussions on stream about maybe the anime of the month while we're watching. You never know. Maybe Eddie will have a stream where he watches the first episode or two of the anime of the month to try and get everyone else watching it and discussing it. Could be a good time.
I think it's definitely it's got its potential for sure.
And also with that, Eddie will probably be coming on the podcast every now and then to discuss whether there's a big future project coming on or just to kind of enlighten the community. Maybe there's some big games coming out, and we bring Eddie on to help discuss kind of what the community should be looking forward to in the gaming atmosphere.
That'd be so much fun. Yeah.
Just because we actually haven't covered too much gaming.
Games,
Only really based on mood, I think. Like,
yeah,
if
we did a
one of
couple
us is playing-
episodes. Like we did the episode with Dan Dutchana, which is kind of Pokemon. We did have Troy on.
Yeah,
He
we
was,
talked a little bit about Diablo.
Yeah, e-gaming a little bit, I think, with
Yeah, we talked some
other
esports.
Dan.
Yeah,
Same with Troy.
and we've talked about, I think, the Hogwarts game.
Here and there.
when it was first like coming
Yeah.
out and it was big.
And it was
Yeah.
big. Yeah.
But that fell off real quick. They definitely weren't prepared in terms of how popular the game would be. I think that was a
no
game
way.
that DLC should have already been in the works to like continue people wanting to be there.
Yeah, definitely.
Once you kind of
And
beat
the
the game,
DLCs.
once you beat the
Yeah,
game though, you
it's-
were done. Like there was no reason to go back, in my opinion.
The DLC's been disappointing too. It's kind of
Yeah.
just. I think it's just been wardrobe. That's all they've been
Yeah.
adding.
That's
Yikes.
It was really cool. It makes me excited if they continue to make other games similar in that style, being able to actually tour Hogwarts, hop on a broom, and do whatever you want, the open world style.
yeah.
It was great. Just, it did feel relatively short, which is the disappointing part. But, like I said, those are the type of games you can definitely expect with a good twist of some old school, but with an Eddie flair.
Heck
Yeah. The speedrunning anxiety ADHD flair. Not speedrunning classic games.
Absolutely. So it'll be great.
Yeah.
And if you guys ever have any suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Go on the channel, on the gaming channel, let Eddie know, or go on the Discord and you can put it there. Always paying attention to the comments, especially about when it comes to what content you guys want to see. But yeah, with that said, Eddie, thanks for coming on. Thanks for
Yeah, of course.
joining the island officially.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Excited to see what the future brings.
We're excited to have you on board.
Sure
I'm
are.
excited to be here.
Sweet.
Oh.
And yeah, thanks, Eddie.
Yeah, no problem. All right.
Check out
Well.
the Nerdy Misfits Gaming.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do
Do
it.
it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Force Lightning.
Yeah.
And there we go. There's the surprise. We're starting a Nerdy Misfit gaming channel with Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie will
You know?
be taking charge. So go subscribe. Like I said, below. I'll leave it probably a pinned comment. I'm sure, like I said, Eddie will leave one
Exactly.
below.
Let us know in the Discord if there's any games you want to see Eddie play or me play or Connor
even
to
if
play.
maybe
or if you guys wanna join
tag
in,
along. So
you
we'll,
know.
we'll see.
Looking at you, Christian, if you're listening. I know you're going to be listening in your truck. This is a direct call out to you, sir.
There you go.
But yeah, stay tuned for next week's episode for Anime of the Month. And then come November, it looks like it's going to be a more Marvel-filled month, which is something we haven't really chatted about.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do feel like we've been a bit.
Anime, manga heavy. Not a bad thing. We
No,
both
no,
enjoy it,
definitely
obviously.
not. I mean, lots of cool news. We've
Yep.
definitely been enjoying content. The seasonal, it's sometimes it just fills up and you don't even realize it.
Exactly.
Especially with the seasonal preview episodes in the same month as obviously the anime of the month. That's
On top of just it adds up, but it's okay.
a lot of big things are happening. But it's nice to dip our toes back into the world of superheroes that aren't
Exactly.
from Japan.
It's true.
Deku, looking at you, boy. But yeah, there's actually also a lot of big Marvel hype, if you will.
There's a lot of Marvel hype coming out right now. Both, like, we can chat about it in a little bit, but also, like, before we wrap up, there's a lot of hype coming out of the comics. As we're recording this, New York Comic Con is happening right now.
Yes.
So we might chat about a lot of the announcements that are coming out of that. So
Pay
stay
attention to
tuned
the
for
Discord. There may be
Discord.
some posts. If there's trailers,
That. Matt's
potentially
gonna try
yeah.
to do a reactive video
look
to them,
forward to some Matt
hopefully.
reactions.
But yeah, I mean, they got more of the Ultimate titles. That's something I'm hoping to talk about in the future. Is that one of our comic book stores? They have the 7th reprinting of issue 1 of the new
yeah,
Ultimate Spider-Man,
that's
which is
crazy.
huge because when we're actively collecting, I think most maybe got to
3 or 4.
4th.
Yeah.
Like if it was like a really big, maybe first
I'm
appearance
thinking,
of something.
I'm
but
thinking
Superior. I
the
think-
the relaunch of Spider-Man
Peter
as
Parker.
Peter Parker.
Yeah,
That
had
was a big
3
one?
or 4th, but
Some of the Batman
Scott Snyder stuff
Scott Snyder run
got
stuff.
like 3rd or 4th, but 7th is
It just goes to show you though,
crazy.
it's the right mix of both a fun story,
Yeah.
but also obviously Spider-Man is such a huge character, right? And with the popularity of the Sony animated films, I think that that's only somehow even created a bigger boom around Spider-Man, which is crazy to think because he is one of the biggest IPs. For
I'm pretty sure this does take a new take on Spider-Man, where Peter Parker's not actually Spider-Man, like he never got bitten by the spider or something. So I'm excited to actually fully read that. Marvel's coming up with their Ultimate Universe. The back of that, we have right now for comics, there's a Black Panther, there's the Ultimates, which is their version of Avengers.
Yep.
There's an Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Spider-Man. I think Ultimate Thor is starting soon. So stay tuned.
Whole wave
for those. And then DC is doing something similar. They've started something called their Absolute Universe. Yes. The only thing that's been released so far for that is the Batman issue. I haven't read it.
Which has been...
It's got mixed reviews.
Yeah, and I think some of that's just due to design choice, but I love that the team behind the comic is really leaning into it.
Yeah.
The Chonk.
The big boy, like it's Ben Affleck, but bigger.
And the Chonk Batman logo, like they're leaning into it.
It's different, but I'm excited for it. Absolute Superman comes out in a couple weeks too. That's basically these versions of these characters are drastically different. Like Batman is not you're
not tied to the origin of the character.
Classic cliche.
Yeah, you get to kind of make it your own.
Like Batman's an architect. Both of his parents are still alive. Yeah. I don't want to spoil too much more about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Joker came out. We were originally discussing potentially doing a Joker 2 podcast. Unfortunately, the film is just not great.
Yeah.
We will probably watch it at some point.
But we're in no rush to that.
And give our quick take about it. But we're in no rush to go to the movies and see it.
Speaking of that too, another DC property that came out that actually just pushed under the rug for me, I had no idea it came out yet, was The Penguin Show on HBO Max. Just never got around to watching it. I think it's still airing. It's very interesting because the mother from How I Met Your Mother is like Falcone's daughter in it. It's very interesting seeing her actively in something that's not How I Met Your Mother. Not that I've really seen her
much in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, but it's still different.
You still know who she is.
Yeah, exactly. But so stay tuned for some more comic book knowledge, Marvel knowledge, and of course, anime, manga knowledge coming up. And check out our new gaming channel. Super pumped to go forward with that finally.
Yeah.
So
gaming channel is super exciting for sure. Also we will be doing we'll be doing actually an episode break or a show breakdown come November for the MCU.
Yep.
So
potentially a Marvel movie as well.
So yeah,
we'll see.
Definitely will be a lot more comic content come November, December. Hoping to potentially do something Christmassy, so stay tuned for that as well.
Stay tuned for the winter anime episode. That's going to be coming out in December too. Final anime of the month of 2024, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, full year.
As our final episode comes out on Christmas, I believe.
I believe you are correct. It's good, sir.
Perfect. So until then, we will see you next Wednesday.
Yeah, guys. Hopefully you can take all you can from that episode because it's been a wild one.
Heck yeah. All right. Bye.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast. Don't forget to join the island by dropping a follow. Thank you. See you next week.